My name is Ani Thompson. So born, raised, and educated here in Rarotonga, Cook Islands. I've done some training overseas, so a few stints of training here and there, Australia, New Zealand. Very fortunate to have been through companies that really develop Cook Islanders. So at every opportunity pushed me forward to do things, even if I tried to resist. It was always, just incredible people who've backed Cook Islanders for a long time. Started with Pacific Resort 14 years ago, from HOD level to the regional manager now. Things have changed since COVID, obviously. We've had quite a few restructure within the company, so titles have changed in the sense that you have more responsibility, everything's more shared, and everyone's more, reasonably attuned to that and accept these things. Not just myself, but a lot of people. So for me, I think being a Cook Islander, first and foremost, a woman, a mother, a single mother, this industry has been there from the very start. And I've watched and observed a lot of people in the industry, not just in hotels, but, airlines, whatever. And it's a small island, so we're always seeing each other, and it's very much family at the end of the day, the way we treat each other and how we do things and what we choose to share and things like that. I think for me, like 14 years is a long time. I really got to work with a lot of our shareholders, our directors, our landowners, and it's from the very top. And they've always been caring, and they've always had an interest in staff development and motivations. I always felt that our owners and directors, at the end of the year, we had our board meeting, want to know what did we do this year. We're very excited to see the pictures and the videos, just genuinely interested in our staff having fun, and being genuinely looked after, so that in turn their service to our guests was genuine. Because we know that you can't make someone give that special touch, and there's so many experiences that my guests have told me of what my staff have done for them, that I don't know about, but they've gone ahead and taken this family to church, or taken this person to find a rare thing, or arranged a romantic dinner off-site somewhere. I can't ask my staff to do that, but they go ahead and do it. And I feel that they do that for our guests because they genuinely care. The severity of it wasn't quite real. We always hear of wars and other issues and things like that, but you never feel that it's going to impact you directly as a nation, as an island. And sometimes that sense of denial is good. It's just going to wash away. It's not going to be as bad as it sounds. So I think it really took a good minute for us to register this was something very real. And that was probably even just falling on the day that the borders were closed. And that was probably the moment that, my friends, family, and I all really felt like, wow, this is very serious. This has never been something, there's no SOP or manual on how to handle the emotional effects that this was having on a lot of people. It's not something we could prepare for. Of course, a lot of people straight away had a lot of job insecurities and worries. At the same time, there was a big balance on the island with the communities, that we've got a lot of old people here. Our hospitals are not capable of taking care of everybody if we all got sick with COVID. So those borders undeniably had to close for that period. From an operator's perspective, what I truly admired about the company that I work for, they never waited until people were knocking, as to what was happening. Immediately, in meetings with all our hotels, 100% staff, CEO in the front, explaining what was happening and what the plan was. If the situation was going to be A, this is our plan. Or if the situation was going to be B, this is our plan. So all of us was constant weekly, just every week meeting with the CEO. Oh, we've got what the subsidies mean. How does that work? This is what it means. This is what it means for your hours and your income. This is what we're going to do. Because we subsidize a lot of the rents as well anyway. You know, we had to work in a way with every individual staff member so that no one felt, they didn't have to feel scared, so to speak. And it ranges, because some of them, it wasn't about financial. Some of them just could not come to work and do something else. You know, like, I'm a chef, this is what I need to do. I can't work in the gardens. It's been, you know, months and I've been in the gardens. I can't do this. Or young people, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to learn. So it was different challenges for different people. And I think, again, I was very lucky because, again, our company just had all of these avenues ready for me and the other general managers to pick up whatever was relevant to the situation. And this is what you say, and this is how you say it. And then if we weren't comfortable, the CEO would come down himself and deal with individual frontline staff himself. But making the time for people in the manner that he did, very calm, you know, reflect, it starts to rub off on everybody. So, you know, if he's okay, I'm okay. And at the same time, I had about 100 staff looking at me thinking, if she's okay, must be okay, you know? So it just has this effect. But it was sometimes just on a daily, weekly basis that we were like that. Or we'd get excited if we'd hear that the borders were going to open. But again, I think it was for us, and the CEO realized that, it was about keeping the mind busy as well. So I think it was, the borders closed in March. By May, we had a hospitality school running basically in the resort, and that kept us busy for months, getting qualified in different areas that we were in, certified in different areas. So if you were an engineer, you were going to now be doing a bar course, because why not, you know? And that motivated everyone to show up to all their classes and just feel like students again, you know. They do half a day's work in the gardens or the rooms, but it was it was a mental thing. It was just to keep them on a routine, because I think without it, they would feel quite emotionally upset when they sit back and register, especially our expatriates, when they had families who weren't doing as well overseas. So when it comes back to the owners of our property, I have to look at them and think, they have done this for us all these years. They have genuinely cared for us. They always ask, well, do we buy safety boots for our staff? You know, they just check on these little things. When COVID hit, it was a no-brainer on my part that I was going to be dedicated to the company. If I put myself up, even though the CEO had already done it, pay cuts, whatever, the senior levels all should receive a pay cut, not the front line, because it means more to them, whatever that margin is, than it would for us, you know, and it's a sacrifice. So yeah, without a doubt, I was going to dedicate myself to the company through that time and be as helpful as I could be for my staff. For me, it's an endurance, I think, that we're still going through, to be honest. We're not quite, we're still going through a moment, you know, and even with me at work to this very day, we're not quite recovered. And we still have quite a lot of staff who are leaving nonetheless, because they have to make up for the losses of the previous years. They need to get on with their lives. And it is sad because, you know, like a mother hen, you kind of just put them all together for the last 2 years, but now they're trying to fight to get out, and you know, you don't want them to leave because it's safe here. But at the same time, they have to make these decisions on their own. So resilience for me, I think, is more so just continuing to focus on the ones that are still here. And I have a lot of stuff, I've got expats that have been with me for 10 years. And those are the ones, they're still bringing their own families in. They've got a brother in this year as soon as the borders open. A wife had arrived, a brother did, another brother or a sister. And those things give me assurance, because it means that those who were here originally, they still get it, and they still want to be in this safe circle with us. And I need that too for myself, because it's good to look back even at my own HOD team, my heads of departments, and they're the same people I've had for 18 years now. And it's looking back and seeing that they're still there, gives me this relief that they're on the same path as me. They know all about our ops challenges and what we're trying to gain as a team, as well as run a hotel. But it's a team thing. It's not just on my own, I would like to say. Sometimes it's quite busy here. You can't even walk down the road. It's just flooded with people. And I can see why sometimes the community don't like that. But I think that that'll filter out over time. I think that those things will calm down. And I would like to see a better quality of an island experience from everyone, not just the hotels. Just every restaurant looking into their staff, into delivering better service. Every shop, every experience, tour guides, all of it. I just think we could be a bit more, charge a bit more for the sake of running your businesses at what you need it to, and then just getting good quality, bookings and travelers coming through, and that way it appeases sort of the community thinking that, we've just got too many people. There was a lot of environmental impact that was quite concerning on our island because of tourism. And I think that has been pushed aside because of what happened with COVID. That's still a very real problem here. We're a very small island, and we don't have a proper sewage waste treatment facility here. We were still not quite right when it comes to our sustainability plans. It hasn't happened. And that's something that I think tourism needs to think very carefully about when it does come to allowing more tourism here, is when's too much. We're quite lucky that our founder, had a lot of foresight and put a lot of systems and structures in place back in the 90s when it wasn't legislation. But now it is legislation. Imagine trying to uproot your hotel and start running proper sewage systems and pipes and things like that, now in Rarotonga. It cost you a fortune. So this might put a lot of properties off. And they shouldn't wait until it's a big problem and then blame hotels for having tourists, It impacts the economy. Tourism brings it is what our economy is built on. So it affects everyone. We just need to know how to manage it properly. And we need to probably look at other Pacific islands and learn from what they've done, in their history, and try and learn from similar places. I think, we should be a bit more forceful as a government policy for tourism to actually contribute to that. Because like I said, Tahiti is already doing it, It wasn't would you like to, it's just there. You're going to come, you're going to enjoy my lagoon and our beaches. It's just a little portion of it, so it's good. If anything too, COVID has taught us how to be smarter with what little that we do have, whether it's labor or finances. So we've had to restructure our business model quite a lot in the last 2 years. So for instance, we don't do weddings anymore. We used to do a lot of events and weddings. We used to have a dedicated activities hut, run a lagoon cruiser. We had to, lagoon cruises, there are 2 other businesses literally 100 meters from us. just let them have the lagoon business and send our guests there. They do it well. It's their bread and butter. They do it all day long compared to us. We do it once a day. So we have more issues than they probably do with trying to run a cruiser. Weddings, we're just going to focus on family market now and just really develop kids clubs and activities. Events were hard for us anyway, but this is all because of the labor cost and the shortage of labor and the price increases for everything. So it's just really focusing down on what we do well, which is our sleep business. So just making sure that our rooms are in the best condition, that they're the cleanest condition, that our housekeepers have all the training and resources, that our fixtures are, just the best that we can make it, and that our restaurant has the best service, and that is it. And not to overcomplicate it with other things. So we've just had to bring it all in, direct all the labor into just those areas, and focus on being excellent just on that. You get a lot of tourists, so you got to adjust your business. You have few, you just got to adjust your business. But fairly, I wouldn't think that I'm going to have to let go 20 people. I'll come find you when we have more flights. No, we just have to adjust our business. And we've always found avenues to do that. If there's something that we're outsourcing, then maybe we're outsourcing it to a group of staff rather than, externally. Or maybe we're creating a new avenue for guests to buy something that is made by staff. Like I've got staff that we taught how to do flower arrangements. So now they sell flower arrangements on the side, things like that. And then, of course, just behind us, we've got that mountain you're talking about. We took all our staff up. It's owned by one of our staff. And just for bondings and things like that, so, and which guests came along as well, obviously. And for a long time, I could show you that since 2012, we actually used to hold monthly games. And these could be quizzes, they could be trivia. It's anything that exercises the mind again, or sometimes physically, but it's the only goal out of any of these games is that either a staff learns something or a guest experiences something. That was the only two goals for these activities. And I truly felt, since 2012 when that started, that these games brought unity, motivation, it was bonding. We'd include the guests as well. It could be an A-making competition, but it could be a kayak competition. It could be a trivia pursuit. It could be find the fire hydrants on the property. And, you could be a mama or you could be a young fit athlete. Everyone could participate. The best part about it too is when we started that is the rule was the general manager, the CEO, and the executives have no say in what it is. This is owned by the staff. Everyone throughout the pandemic journaled everything that had happened and the effects of a decision and what it did and why them changed our mind, did something else. Because those documents will be really important in the future because, we had sea swells twice last month, for instance. The first one hit, and for our operation, we're very reactive, just drama, chaos, grab everything, throw it over there. The second time it was forecasted, at least we got a warning, I said to my team, can we just do it a little bit better this time? Because we broke a few things doing it the way we did last week. And it was really about the manner of how we do things that we need to learn to not do that again. And it was fantastic. It was way more time. It had staff that actually knew where there was, and emergencies and all of that will always cause a bit of chaos. But I think having to learn from it and documenting it and having it set in policy that we can never do that again for this reason is applicable in all things. And just like COVID, I think we were very lucky that our government had the subsidy plan rolled out. But I think the understanding of what that meant was obviously lots of people misunderstood the reasoning behind. I had people say, I don't have to work. I'm just going to get a subsidy. It's like, well, no. And so that creates conflict and all sorts of misunderstandings. So just having better communication when we're making a decision on things. And for us, for tourism in the future, I don't think we can rely on tourism always. There needs to be other industries that come through. And maybe it is seabed mining, maybe, I don't know. But we need to be looking for other avenues of income rather than relying on just tourism. Because, it impacts everything from our environment. Young people leaving the island, between the ages of 19 and 24, they just suddenly disappear. They're all gone to New Zealand. Why? We need to keep them here. All of these things need to be looked at for a better, stronger Cook Islands.